Yeah, well, we put ourselves in a good position to where, now they're going to make a run. Can they make a good enough run and get that lead and then kind of push back on us? And we were fortunate they got kind of in a lull as we were struggling also. They never quite got the lead and were able to get the crowd in and kind of get us playing on our heels. I thought they did a great job in the second half of disrupting us. I thought their man-to-man defense was very good. They forced us into probably the most turnovers we've had in a Big Ten game this year. And at times we struggled just passing and catching. But we hung on, and obviously we made enough plays to win the game.
JJ obviously had a terrific game, but I thought maybe the X factor was keeping her.
I would agree. I think Keaton was the difference for us. Getting 13 points off the bench really helped us, and just stepping up, making some shots, making some plays. But they did a great job. They did a great job on each one. They did a great job on Hummel. But when you do that and you put so much attention on Moore and Hummel, it's going to allow Juwan Johnson to be one-on-one. And for us, we just have to keep our composure and understand what they're doing and then just take advantage of it. But anytime we think Juwan Johnson's one-on-one, we think we have a mismatch.
Did you make a little ball screen adjustment late with Kramer on Lighty because he was going right around the board? Did you tweak a little bit?
We just tried to keep him in front of us. We backed up off of Evan Turner, and we spent a lot of time guarding the ball and pressuring the ball. But he's so good, and if he has so much space, I thought we did a pretty good job. He gets 29 points, but that's what great players do. He's a guy that can take angles and spins and just create for himself and create for his teammates. But we just tried to keep, anytime it happened with Lighty or with William Buford, we just tried to keep him in front of us, and we wanted to knock Buford out of his rhythm, even though he knocks him down in the second half.
Coach, you've been to overtime here 2 years in a row. What are you thinking as you just got that shot? Send it to overtime, but maybe for a third year.
I even think it's going overtime, obviously. And we had a chance to push it out. We missed the free throw, and then we're able to get a stop, and then each one has the ball at the basket, and the ball just doesn't go in for him. And then Kramer made a huge block. Grant made a good play of getting back and getting squared up on Buford's drive, and then Kramer made a big block, and they recovered it. And then we were kind of scrambling right there, and I thought we had it squared up, and then Deaver kind of gets loose, and I thought he had a pretty good look at it.
Matt, you probably pay a little more attention this year in a couple of weeks when it's actually relevant, but your team's 4-0 now against top 10 teams. Does that say anything about your team kind of getting up to these big games?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that 2 of them are on the road and 1 of them's a neutral game. I think we've been able to beat some good teams in the past, but we've most of the time got those wins at home. And the fact that we're able to get quality wins on the road really shows a lot about our team and their makeup.
Matt, it's just part of the process, but you and I have watched a lot of Purdue basketball. To win consecutively in 2 assembly halls, Breslin Center, and then to come here and win, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
And how significant is that for your team?
Well, we dug a hole for ourselves in conference play by going 2-3, and we knew we had to do something special if we were going to fight to get in this race, and we've been able to do that. And now we just, when you get a huge win like this, it just means your reward is you get to play Illinois next, so it never gets any easier.
Matt, you mentioned turnovers. You had, I think, 3 off inbounds passes, and forced you to time on anything that you saw.
We actually practiced on that. I know it didn't look that way, but we actually practiced. They do a good job. They put Lauderdale on the ball, and they've done it with all their bigs here the past 5 years, and they really, you got to be able to see past him, see around him, and you have a lot of different options. They did a good job of switching, coming out, but it wasn't anything they haven't done before. We just didn't execute, and we didn't make smart decisions. But you have to give them credit. They're tough on the side, and they're tough underneath. They make a lot of people look foolish.
What does it say about Moore, Hummel, and Johnson, where if one guy is being locked up by the defense or just not having a good night, somebody else can go for 25?
Yeah, it's something we were concerned with, coming into the game, just those guys keeping their composure and keeping their poise and allowing it to come to them. And Rob does a great job with that. Rob does kind of too good of a job. Sometimes it's a weakness of his. He'll let it come to him too much instead of being aggressive. But, I just think each one of those guys trusts the other one. And when you come into college, you're used to just doing it on your own. And you're used to winning by going to score the basketball. And there's other ways to win the game. And you got to trust your teammates. And I think they're really evolving, as a group and really trusting each other, especially down the stretch.
Just kind of that same storyline we've seen a couple times now. Most recently, East Lansing, where they obviously kind of had you back on the heel a little bit. You guys almost they just kind of kind of took a deep breath or whatever. It's like a whole new game, right? That poise we can talk about.
Yeah, they showed some poise, but, you know, it's also, it's been a concern of ours. It's how we got beat by Ohio State the first time. We were up 27 against Michigan, and they cut it to 10 at one time. And we've had a problem holding on to the lead. I think it's a good problem, because anybody, you know, a lot of people like to be up 20 points or 16 points, but we were up 13 points against Ohio State the first game, shooting a 1-and-1 with 8.5 minutes to go, and missed it and got beat. So this has cost us games, but when you can hang in there in games like this, I think it makes you tougher. Go ahead, Bob.
Talked about knocking Buford out of the room, like, you won't give away any secrets, but just, can you tell us how you did that?
No, I'm just talking when he went on a shot. You know, William Buford is different than a lot of guys that we play. And in the fact that when he gets his rhythm and you're on it, he makes it. When a lot of guys, even when you're on them, they rarely shoot a high percentage. William Buford makes tough shots, he makes tough pull-ups. You know, he's a professional shooter. He can really go, but if you allow him to get his head up, you can actually do your job and he still scores it. And then in the second half, that's what really concerned me, because after he hit a couple, you know, we were fortunate because a couple Evan found him, and he just missed a wide open shot. And he normally doesn't do that after he hits a couple.
Time for one more question.
Matt, is there anything, spending Ohio State, is there any idea Turner didn't get his, make sure the other guys don't go off? Or is that?
No.
That's not.
No, not at all. I mean, that's what makes it, you know, difficult. We try our best to keep David Lighting in front of us, and we struggle with it. And it's all we talk about, just trying to keep him in front of us, trying to keep the ball in front of us, and keep them off the free throw line. They shot 8 more free throws than we did tonight. But that's what we try to do. I don't know if we do it. You know, in the grand scheme of things, we're one possession better than them. So I don't know. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, and sometimes people just miss. I think we got fortunate tonight. We had some guys step up and make plays, but Ohio State missed a couple openings they normally make.